April 24th, 2020, my best friend and I quit our jobs to go work in New York City in a COVID ICU for 2 months. We are just two country bumpkins who've never lived in a big city before. Or been to a gas station that's not self-serve. Oops. Or lived through a pandemic.
New COVID issue, driving freaking in the car to New York City. There's no bathroom!
By law, we cannot pee.
We shouldn't have had coffee.
Or filmed adequately.
I'm gonna take a picture. You're gonna have a flash of my face in this thing.
And this is our story.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And on we'll go.
Our first day was quite a rough transition, traveling 10 plus hours to get to New York City, not being able to pee, and then having to find our hotel and a place to park the car. We were surprised to discover that hotel rooms in Midtown Manhattan are in fact quite small. But we quieted that tiny voice that whispered, "This was a mistake," with a glass of wine from a paper cup, pulled up our big girl pants, and pressed onwards, turning our tiny space into our new home. We decided to raise our spirits and take advantage of the location of our hotel, which was about 2 blocks away from Times Square. I've only ever been to New York City once a really long time ago, and I don't remember what it's supposed to look like, but I can only guess that this is not it.
Right, empty.
We moved up to New York City a day early so that we could learn how to live in the Big Apple. And first on our list was conquering the scary subway system.
Oh, this nice, fresh air.
We found our subway stop was at Bryant Square Park, a brisk 10-minute walk from the hotel, and we rode the 7 line from Manhattan to our hospital in the heart of the pandemic, deep in Queens. On our way back home from our little adventure, we decided to get off early at Grand Central Station just to have a look around. And this is just another guess, but I imagine it's not normally this empty either. From Grand Central to our hotel, we got a little bit lost, which ended up being the best accident ever. We found one of the only open stores, Jack's Penny Store, our lifesaver, where we bought all of our sustenance. And then we started our new job. We got 1 day of orientation in the hospital that ended with us being assigned part of our PPE, goggles, and a clamshell N95. Due to the lack of N95s, we had to wear the same one for 5 days. Some companies, the nurses work 21 days in a row, but our company and our contract was for 3 12-hour shifts a week, but we always worked at least 4 shifts a week. Riding the subways was a very new form of transportation for us. Where we both grew up in South Carolina, there's laughable public transport systems. You essentially have to have a car and you drive everywhere, which is what we always did. The subway was a beautiful, wonderful place for us. Our day would start getting up at 5:30 in the morning and walking to our subway stop. That crisp, cold walk every morning was such a great way to start the day. And then after working a long, grueling 12 or 13 hours, we would walk to the subway station and step onto our normally empty subway car. The stressors of the day would just melt away as we stared out the window, gazing at the beautiful Manhattan skyline, listening to the sounds of the subway, and just shutting off our brain. Then we would get off at Bryant Park, and our first view out of the subway station was of the Chrysler Building, which we definitely didn't accidentally think was the Empire State Building. This is actually the Empire State Building, and I think the Chrysler is actually much prettier, but that's just me. And then we would walk home to our beautiful, wonderful hotel room. Learning to live in a tiny hotel room in Midtown Manhattan was quite an adjustment, and even more so during a pandemic when everything's closed. But our hotel was absolutely wonderful. The only other people staying there were other nurses, and we got really close with the hotel staff. Whenever we would come home from work, they always had a friendly ear to listen to the woes of our day. It was also a little bit of an adjustment for Sierra and I to learn how to live together. Especially with the furthest apart we could get from each other was the 2 feet of distance that our beds had. There was no microwave or a way to cook our food, but we thought ahead and brought a waffle maker, a crock pot, and a 3-in-1 coffee pot, griddle, and toaster oven.
Coffee, sausages, and waffles. Yum!
There was no washer or dryer at our hotel room, so we made do.
Well, I did my scrubs first. I just got like a couple shirts and some pants.
And as wonderful and amazing as the hotel was, only going back and forth between it and our new stressful job in a giant new city, we started to go a little stir crazy.
Jump! My turn. Look out. I'm coming. My fuzzy socks. Please do not eat myself through this wall. Okay, go. Ready? Okay. Ready? Yes. Are you getting a video of yourself falling too? Yes. Okay, ready? I got scared. Ready? I got scared.
This is the quarantine crazies.
I have to kind of have a running start.
Okay. Oop. Wow, very nice. And back. Oh.
We decided it would be best for our mental health if we could safely get out of the hotel room and away from the hospital and just walk around and explore our new temporary home. So we went to go see the footprints of the World Trade Center. The stop we got off on was the Oculus Mall, and it ended up being terrifying. There was almost no one there. and you had that feeling.
I have a feeling this is normally way busier.
When you're somewhere and you can tell it was meant for thousands of people, but it's just you in there, a giant, empty, whitewashed space. It was really creepy. And then almost every exit was closed. We went from one end to the other, up and down. Every exit we found was closed. We would sometimes stumble across a random worker and they would give us directions, and the directions would take us to a closed exit. We thought that we were trapped in a Twilight Zone episode and that we would never escape. But finally we did. Seeing the footprints of the World Trade Center gave us a different feeling, and I definitely had goosebumps from my arms all the way up to the top of my head. We walked around a little bit on the tip of Manhattan, got ripped off on some ice cream, accidentally paid $10.
That is Yum. That's good. Not worth $10 though. Jeez.
And after enjoying all the fresh air outside, we went back home. And we're able to go back to work with a fresh mind and a fresh attitude. Oh, and also my shoe broke. And there's nowhere that I can buy new shoes because everything's closed because, COVID. Yay.
Is it laundry day? It is laundry day.
Very nice.
So this is it. Our temporary new life battling COVID, battling our own mental health issues because of battling COVID, learning how to live in a brand new city.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
This is going to be quite an adventure.